Politics is becoming more personalized across the globe. It's a phenomenon that's familiar in authoritarian regimes like Putin's Russia or increasingly Xi Jinping's China. But it's no longer confined to just authoritarian settings. And instead, even in democracies, leaders are amassing more power relative to their political parties, such that their policies reflect much more the whims of the leader rather than a bargaining process between multiple individuals or institutions. You can think of former President Trump's hold on the Republican Party or the outsized influence that leaders have in countries like Hungary or the Czech Republic. It's not just flashy examples shading our perceptions. We did research using indicators that measure the balance of power between a leader and its party. And we can see that personalism has been on the rise since the early 2000s and especially accelerating after 2015.
There are a couple of factors that are facilitating the rise of personalist parties. For one, digital tools. So the internet and social media are really allowing leaders to both censor selectively as well as manipulate the media environment. This is enabling them to really shape the narrative surrounding their leadership and their rise. And they're pairing that strategy that is more digital with more traditional means of media capture. In other words, personalist leaders are using these digital tools in order to lessen resistance to their power grabs.
I think another related factor is the fact that we're seeing a lot of leaders who create their own political parties that then go on to personalize power. And you can think of Turkey's Erdogan, Hungary's Orban, Poland's Kaczynski, Czech Republic's Babiš, Senegal's Sall, Russia's Putin, and Venezuela's Chavez all consolidated power after creating a new political party to launch themselves into power. As the examples suggest, this is a bad news story for democracy. First of all, in our research, we found that personalist parties and personalism more generally breeds more polarization in the societies that these leaders govern. It also dramatically increases the risk of democratic backsliding, and especially that slow degradation of democracy that has become the most common way that democracies fail.
Personalist leaders increase their own influence and control over their political parties and senior party elite, subsequently facilitating their ability to dismantle other institutional checks on their power. When a leader creates their own political party, we often find that they're able to consolidate power more easily because they install their friends, they install their families in key government positions. As a result, these different government officials, their political fortunes are tied to the leader, and because of that relationship, they're way less likely to push back on any kind of power grabs from the incumbent.
Our research shines a new light on the factors that explain the breakdown of democracy that we see today. Where we see the rise of personalist leaders and the personalist parties that support them, we now know that democracy is more likely to break down in those contexts. I think that policymakers should view personalism and the creation of new political parties that tends to precede it as an important early warning sign of democratic decay. When these early warning signs become apparent, policymakers should increase their support for democracy in a given country with a particular focus on strengthening political parties and other constraints on executive power.